Hi, my name's Alistair Croll, and I'm the Content Chair for Cloud Connect, an upcoming conference on cloud computing happening in Santa Clara this March. I want to talk to you for a minute about one of the issues that's both accelerating and slowing down the adoption of cloud computing. And that's the question of whether or not there's innovation as clouds become true utilities. Now, it might be easy to say that cloud computing is a utility model. What does a utility model mean? Well, if you think about electrical generation, it's anywhere that there's a common set of needs. For example, we all need electrical power, where that thing's not a differentiator. I don't do better or worse from another company because I use a different type of electrical power. And there are economies of scale. There's an advantage to someone else producing all the electricity and giving it to everybody. And this generally drives a utility model. This is something author Nicholas Carr has talked about in his book, The Big Switch, where he draws an analogy between cloud computing and the electrical utilities. The problem with utilities, of course, is they tend to become really big, and they tend to require a lot of legislation, and they tend to slow down on innovation. If you think about power companies or telecommunications firms or banking, they tend to require a lot of outside regulation, they tend to get really big, and they tend to not innovate much. Which begs the question, as we move into cloud computing and a few dominant vendors become the big players in clouds, where's the room for innovation? Well, it turns out there's actually quite a lot of room. While the basic fundamentals of cloud computing, which is storage, computation, message delivery, and so on, might be subject to strong economies of scale, there are layers around that that companies can offer. For example, working in a particular protocol or a particular language, offering certain user interfaces that make it easier for certain types of users to use the application programming interfaces, ultimately offering favorable contracts or policies that are better suited to a certain vertical industry, for example, or comply with certain legislation, and then offering more advanced support or onboarding so that you can offer specialized services to a particular group. So as we see the core of cloud computing become fairly commoditized, we can expect to see a series of layers around it, kind of like an onion. And as those layers grow, they're going to add higher level functions that target a particular vertical, work in a particular geographic region, or offer a particular subset of services. And so while the core of cloud computing is a utility model that tends to commoditize things, the innovation today in cloud computing is really the wrappers that people are building on top of that with new software and other forms of enhancement that allow them to differentiate their offering. This is an example of the kinds of things we'll be discussing at Cloud Connect this March, and we really hope you can join us. Thanks.